boys and girls, it's Mrs. Nye again. All right, so another bedtime story. This one is called Goggles, and it's by a very famous author, Ezra Jack Keats. And you'll see right here that this book won an award, the Caldecott Honor Book. So I'm hoping that you're gonna like it. It's about two boys who go on an adventure and find a very cool treasure. Archie, look what I found, Peter shouted through the pipe. Motorcycle goggles. Archie watched Peter through the hole. He listened and smiled. Peter ran to the hideout and put on the goggles. Aren't they great? He asked. Archie smiled and nodded. Peter said, let's go over to your house and sit on the steps. Archie nodded. They started off, and suddenly some big boys appeared. Give us those goggles, kid. No, they're mine, Peter said. His dog, Willie, growled. Archie, hold Willie, said Peter. So what would you do if you had a treasure and some kids come and they try to take it from you? What would you do? Sounds like a really big problem, but I bet they can solve it. Let's find out how they solve this problem. Peter stuffed the goggles into his pocket and put up his fists. Archie gasped. Peter turned to see if something was wrong. The next thing he knew, he was knocked to the ground. Everyone stared at the goggles. Before anyone could move, Willie snatched the goggles and ran through a hole in the fence. The big boys chased after them. Meet you at the hideout, whispered Peter. You go this way, I'll go that way. They won't know where we're going. Willie will find us. Peter raced to the hideout. He sank down as low as he could. Footsteps! The big boys, they followed me. Peter held his breath. Think how Peter is feeling right now. Can you say some words to describe how Peter is feeling? Archie! Now describe how Peter's feeling now that his friend showed up. I thought about some words: relieved, happy, calmer. What was that? Archie looked through the hole. There were the big boys, and there was Willie. They would see him. Wonder what's going to happen next. Can you predict what's going to happen next? Archie stared at the pipe. Suddenly, he spoke. Here, Willie, through the pipe, fast! Do you think Willie's going to make it inside the secret hiding place? Willie! Remember that sometimes illustrators give us more information. The book just had the author only had one word on this page, and it's Willie. There it is. Starts with a W. But if you look at the illustration, you'll see there's more information. Can you tell your family what's happening in this illustration right here? Peter peeked through the hole. The big boys were coming closer and closer. All right, can you predict what's going to happen next? Peter took a deep breath. Then he yelled through the pipe, "Willie, meet us at the parking lot. Head for the parking lot." One of the big boys yelled, "Let's go." Peter, Archie, and Willie crept out of the hideout. When they reached the fence, they got up and ran. They got to Archie's house. Archie laughed and said, "We sure fooled him, didn't we?" "We sure did," said Peter, handing him the goggles. "Things look real fine now," Archie said. "They sure do." Now can you describe how these two boys are feeling? And Willie. Look at Willie down there. How's Willie feeling? I think Willie looks really tired. And that's the end of our story. All right. Now that this story is done, I'm wondering if you can describe some characteristics of the two boys, Peter and Archie. How would you describe them? I thought of some big words. I think they were both level-headed. And that means when they're faced with a big challenge like they were able to stop and think and come up with a solution. And sometimes that can be really hard. The last question I have for you is, what is the setting of this story? Remember, setting is where the story was told, where the characters are. I bet a lot of you said outside, which would be true. But I also, let me find the page that I was thinking about it. Yes, this was the page I was thinking. It is outside. But would you describe the outside as being in the country or the city? Yes, I agree. Look at all those buildings. This text was told in the city. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the story by Ezra Jack Keats. And I love you all and sweet dreams.